Reinier defeats Robert Whittaker by decision. I think a lot of people didn't have the fight going the distance. I know I didn't originally. I actually thought Reinier would have got the submission in this fight. But after the fight is said and done, Reinier was your winner. But people seem to think this decision is somewhat controversial, and that's what I'm going to get into in this video. This is my recap and reaction to the event, guys. I'll start with the main event here, work my way down the card, and I'll also share my bet results with you guys from this week's betting guide, so you guys can check them all out. If you do want to skip to anything in particular though, the timestamps for this video are in the description and the comment section below. But to talk about the main event first, and to cut the story short really, because maybe you guys want to know which side I'm on here. I did pick Reinier to win this fight, and I did think Reinier did enough to win this fight fairly clearly as well. I thought he won 3 rounds to 2, winning rounds 2, 4, and 5, I believe they were. I thought Whittaker won the first round, and then I thought he won the round that he rocked Reinier in, which I believe was the 3rd round. Apart from that, you cannot make the argument that he won the 5th round just because of the sheer volume of strikes that Reinier landed in the clinch. The guy just wanted the fight more, in my opinion. That's what it seemed like to me. He pushed himself forward. He forced himself forward to get into that clinch multiple times in the last round to really secure it. Rob looked completely gassed out in that fight. I think he gassed himself out pretty bad going for the finish in the 3rd round, because after that, he just looked exhausted. And I think the knees to the body were also adding up from Reinier. He might be one of the best clinched kneers I've ever seen, honestly. He doesn't look that great at range in the fight, but in the clinch, his knees look devastating, especially that lead knee that he was going for, even the one that he went for as he got rocked by Robert Whittaker. That knee is so dangerous. It must kill receiving that straight to the body, man. Great fight overall, though. I thought Reinier won, like I said, and I'm keen to see the matchups. I feel bad for Whittaker because I don't really know what's next here. He's just lost to someone that's like in the top 10. I think Reinier is probably ranked 10th or 11th or something. So I don't know who he fights next. But for Reinier, the sky's the limit right now. I want to see who they match him up against next. I don't think it will be a title shot right after this, but I would like to see what fight they give him as a sort of title contention shot, so he'll probably fight for the belt right after that fight. Moving on now to Petr Yan versus Marcus McGhee, and Petr Yan is just special, guys. He's literally one of a kind. This fight did go pretty much how I thought it would, with Marcus McGhee's best round probably being round 1. I thought Marcus McGhee would be most explosive, most dangerous in that first round and get off most of his shots as well and be most active. And something I thought to include here is that after my betting guide was posted, I actually did put that Marcus McGhee plus 3.5 round spread bet on, the bet that I did highlight in the betting guide, but I didn't actually add it in there. But I'll talk about that a little bit more in my betting results section of this video. But to talk about this fight, Yan just makes it look easy, honestly. The dude's probably one of the most technical fighters we've ever seen. He caught Marcus McGhee with pretty much everything and the kitchen sink. It looked pretty dominating to me, especially going into that 3rd round. And Marcus McGhee is no slouch. He's very impressive as a fighter. He can really piece you up. He's dangerous as well on the feet. But Petr Yan really does make these guys not look special at all. Fantastic performance. We can move on to Shara Magomedov versus Marc-Andre Barriault, and this was the fight of the night for sure. Very back and forth fight. I thought Shara Magomedov won pretty clearly, but that shot that Marc-Andre Barriault landed on Shara Magomedov, I think it was like a massive right hand that landed square on his face. I think it would have put out a lot of people, honestly, and it only just rocked Shara. He fell backwards, almost fell completely down if the cage wasn't there. But crazy good performance. Both guys rocked each other. Both guys landed big shots on each other. It was a pretty high-paced fight for the most part. Shara was doing a lot of movement from the outside, trying to piece him up. A lot of those kicks, man. Those kicks were pretty devastating. He landed a lot of kicks on Marc-Andre Barriault, especially on his legs. It was a great fight overall. Very happy to see that. Moving on to Almabayev versus Jose Ochoa. Sorry, guys. I'm a bit sick, unfortunately, right now. I did mention this in my betting guide or my predictions video. I'm just a bit sick. But Almabayev versus Jose Ochoa. I did think this fight was pretty good. It went pretty much how I thought it would go. I thought Almabayev would at least control Jose Ochoa for, I think, for at least 2 rounds is what I said in my prediction video, and he did just that. He was the dominant grappler in this fight, but Jose Ochoa had his moments. He caught Almabayev a few times, I think, coming in for the takedown with that knee, and he caught him with some massive shots as well in this fight, but Almabayev also had his own openings on the feet. He did catch Jose Ochoa with some massive right hands in this fight. It was a great fight to watch, honestly, for me. I liked the reversals that I was seeing on the ground. I liked the grappling exchanges, but Almabayev did win this fight pretty clearly, but I still do think that someone like Jose Ochoa is still really good for the division. I'd like to see who they give him next. Moving on to Nikita Krylov versus Bogdan Guskov, and I said it before this fight even took place. I said Nikita Krylov is coming in as a favorite, which was crazy to me, but he was coming in off a very nasty KO only 3 months ago. I knew he wouldn't be able to take the shots of Bogdan Guskov, and I knew he wouldn't look as good as what I would hope for. That's why I did go with the underdog in Bogdan Guskov here. And man, it was actually decently close, a lot closer than I originally thought, because Nikita was trying his way on the feet a little bit against Bogdan, but you cannot stay on the feet for too long with someone like Bogdan, man. He found that right hand. He rocked Nikita Krylov. He was putting in some nasty ground and pound. And honestly, I would have stopped the fight a lot earlier. I feel like Nikita didn't need to be face down taking those shots again from the side of the head. Way more damage than he needed to take. But great win from Bogdan Guskov. Please take some time off Nikita Krylov before your next match. I'm begging you, brother. Please do it, just for your health. Moving on to Bryce Mitchell versus Nurmagomedov. And this was a little bit of a boring fight to me, in my opinion. And I want to see what you guys think, because as you know, this is my immediate reaction. I actually have no notes on the screen apart from the intro, but I actually thought that Nurmagomedov could have been gifted this fight on damage. I thought Bryce Mitchell really did nothing with his grappling. He did take Saeed down. Second round, third round, for sure, I felt like he was more dominant. And, like, don't get me wrong, I can see how he can win this fight. But I just really felt like he did pretty much nothing once he took him down to the ground. He was holding on to that submission that was pretty much not locked in for almost the entire round as well. And, guys, I really feel like you got to do some damage on the ground, but good win by Bryce Mitchell, I guess. He's moved down to 135. He still looks pretty fast. He's got great grappling. He's going to be tough for a few guys in the division. And Nurmagomedov, man, you got to work on some of that grappling defense, because in the stand-up, he does look pretty good and he does look pretty dangerous. Now, moving on to Carlos Leal versus Muslim Salikhov. And man, guys, I don't know. Like, I guess I just can't pick these guys, because I did pick Carlos Leal to get the KO sort of around round 2, I believe it was. I thought he would pressure early, wear down on Muslim Salikhov in the first round, and then get the finish in the second round. But as soon as he came out there, I was like, what is this guy doing? He's just rushing in a little too recklessly for my liking. He was going in too fast. He was standing in a wider stance, and I was like, man, you got to be careful, dude. You're going to get caught. And then I think it was 40 seconds into the fight, Muslim Salikhov just lands this massive right hand, puts him out, flatlines him with one punch pretty much. Very impressive KO by the 40-year-old Muslim Salikhov. Great win by him. I did like the post-fight speech where he was like 40 years young. I thought that was pretty funny. But man, Carlos Leal, he's still impressive, but gonna need to work on that fight IQ, man. Moving on to Davey Grant versus Blackshear, and Davey Grant. Oh my god, dude. The crafty vets, they strike again with these guys. I honestly think Blackshear, I don't know why he didn't shoot any takedowns in the second round. I have no idea, but he really should have gone for him. Once you get Davey Grant on a roll in the stand-up, he just doesn't stop. He lands a lot of output. He's really good from range. He's great with his kicks. He's great with his hands. And he showed that against Blackshear. I don't know why he didn't rely on the grappling. He was trying to go for it in the striking too much. And he just got pieced up in the second and third round. There's nothing really much to say about this. He was a good underdog to pick, Davey Grant. I didn't pick him this time around, but I have picked him quite a few times in the past. Moving on, Amanda Ribas versus Tabatha Ricci. And I actually thought this was going to be an absolute snooze fest, but it was actually half decent. I thought Amanda Ribas probably squeaked out the first round. I thought it was a little bit boring with Tabatha Ricci trying to clinch a lot, but her clinching in that second round let her find that elbow directly into the eye socket, pretty much, of Amanda Ribas. And I think that hurt her really bad to the point where she just pretty much quit in there. So, great win by Tabatha Ricci. KO win in the second round. Very impressive in the end, especially against a bigger opponent in Amanda Ribas. Moving on to Aslan versus Billy Elekana. I did go with Billy Elekana to get this one done as a pretty moderate to big underdog, I believe he was. But I did think that it was going to be a submission win. I thought Billy Elekana would use his grappling a lot more, but he did just stay at range, and he probably just knew something that I didn't, because Aslan did not throw any punches in this fight. I know that Billy Elekana didn't do that much either, but he did more. He did slightly more, and that's enough to win the fight. And I don't even know why Aslan had his hands up and he was like in shock, like, whoa guys, how did I lose? Like, you lost, man. You didn't throw, you didn't try, you didn't really do anything. In the end, I'm not mad at Aslan because Billy Elekana was my pick, but I'm just mad as a fight fan in general. I just thought he could have done more, made this fight a bit more entertaining. Same with Billy Elekana, maybe grappled a bit more, tried to go for something, tried to go for a finish, but he fought smart. He hit him with some big shots, big right hands as well. Good from Billy Elekana. Muhammad Yahya versus Stephen Nguyen. This fight could have been stopped off rip, bro. Like, after maybe the second or third knockdown. I don't even know how many knockdowns there were in this fight, maybe 10 in total, but Muhammad Yahya is, I don't care what anyone says, Muhammad Yahya, I know he was rallying back, I know he's tough, but he's not UFC level. Stephen Nguyen pretty much just walked this guy down, rocked him multiple times. Who is he gonna battle? Who is he going to fight that he can beat at this point? If you're getting dropped, you're getting pretty much the world record amount of knockdowns put against yourself against someone like Stephen Nguyen, who is good, don't get me wrong, but he's not crazy good. He's not nothing special. I would have stopped this fight personally in the first round, but after seeing his eye in the second, I'm glad they didn't put him out there. That eye was pretty disgusting, man, and he could have had some serious injury there, but I think I heard afterwards there was no, like, fracture, there was no like issue with his eye in terms of broken bones, so happy to hear that. We don't want these guys having any sort of permanent injury. Interesting fight though, to say the least, guys. And last fight of the card, we've got Martin Buday versus Marcus Buchecha, and man, I don't know how Marcus Buchecha just can come in and pretty much not land like a single takedown. I think the only takedown he landed, correct me if I'm wrong, was like a bulldoze sort of football tackle takedown he landed against Martin Buday. Besides that, he ended up getting reversed a few times in certain positions. He ended up reversing Martin Buday in certain positions as well when he was falling to his back. This fight was a little bit sloppy, guys. I actually thought potentially they could have edged it to Marcus Buchecha, but I don't really care. I thought this fight was going to be too close to pick in the end, and that's why I did say for no one to bet on this fight, but I did end up chucking like a submission bet on Marcus Buchecha like an idiot. But anyways, guys, that pretty much wraps up my event recap, but we're gonna go into my event results for my bets here, for the betting guide that did come out this week, and I'll put them up on the screen for you guys now. And as you can see, we actually did pretty well on our bigger bets, on the individual bets, which were on individual fighters. I chose, I think, 4 underdogs for that list, and 3 of them cashed. Plus Asu Almabayev, who was pretty much even money with Jose Ochoa, and the only underdog to lose was Saeed Nurmagomedov there. The other bets that cashed was the subscribers bet of the week. He did say Almabayev, Ochoa over 2.5 rounds. I did put half a unit on that, and that did cash. So congrats to the subscribers bet of the week. Congrats to this guy. I'll put him up on the screen here now. I appreciate you being a part of the betting guide, and thanks. Your bet did cash. I hope you did well with your own bets on this card. As you can see though, with the prop section, none of these specific finish bets did cash this time around, and even my confident picks list as a parlay didn't cash, which was pretty sad. I did have Petr Yan and Carlos Leal in that confident picks list as a parlay, and as you know, Carlos Leal got finished in like the first 40 seconds of the fight, so pretty sad about that. But something that did cash was our high risk main card parlay. All 5 fighters won. I put 0.1 of a unit on that, and it actually did cash for a little bit more than I thought originally. I think I had like 1.55 on the original betting guide, but I checked my Bet365 account and I did receive bonus money because all 5 fights did win. So I got like a 10% boost. So it was around 1.75 that I received on that. So if you guys see this, this was my results for the card in terms of my bets. It was pretty much plus 1 unit on the card. But like I did say when I was talking about Petr Yan versus Marcus McGhee, I will put it up on the screen for you guys now. I did actually place that bet on Marcus McGhee on the spread for him. So I did do, I believe it was half a unit on that bet, and it cashed, you know, for a full unit. So I added that here to the profit. But if you guys don't want me to count that, since it wasn't in the original betting guide at the start, technically it was in the betting guide, but it was in a different section. It wasn't in the ending section. Just let me know. I'm happy to just revert it back. But that's the truth, guys. I made an extra like around half a unit, so it is like plus 1.475. So pretty happy with how I did on this card. Came back with those main event picks to do decent on picks overall, but just happy we made some profit with the bets. Hope everyone did well on the card for picks and on bets. The card was overall pretty good. Happy watching it as a fan. Not happy staying up at 2 a.m. and then watching it finish at around 8 a.m. And then I actually went to sleep now at 8 a.m. Woke up at around 1:30 and then started making these slides, making the video. So I'm definitely not happy about that. Destroying my sleep on a Sunday here in Australia. But it is what it is, guys. Thanks for watching the video, guys, and see you guys next time.